Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to shoot mountains by the light of the moon. When you're at a beautiful location, it's easy to lose yourself taking photos. Inevitably, before you know it, the sun is setting and the light is fading. At this point, it might be tempting to head home. But if you stick around, there could still be photo opportunities, especially if the moon is full and the skies are clear. Shooting by moonlight means exposures that can last whole minutes, but the resulting image can look almost like a daytime shot, except it has that eerily beautiful atmosphere that only comes at night. Here's how to get set up for a moonlight shoot. First, set your DSLR up on a tripod and do your best to compose the shot and focus. It might be hard for your focus to lock on in the dark, so try using live view or focus manually. When your focus is good, switch to manual to lock it. One of the biggest challenges when shooting at night by moonlight is finding the right exposure. Our final exposure might take several minutes, but to begin with, we can save time with a speedy test shot. So we adapt our aperture and ISO for speed. We set aperture priority with a wide aperture like f4, then use a really high ISO like 6400. Here's our test shot, noisy as hell with a shutter speed of 2 seconds. Now we can come up with an equivalent exposure by lowering the ISO for a less noisy image. We might also want to increase the f number for greater depth of field. Now every time we either change the ISO or the aperture by a stop, we're going to need to double our shutter length. An exposure calculator like this saves us from figuring it out in our heads. First we input our noisy test shot exposure, which was f4, 2 seconds at ISO 6400. Now for my equivalent exposure, I would like to use f16 and ISO 400. So our initial 2-second exposure is doubled 8 times, which works out at 8 minutes and 32 seconds. Now all I need to do is set my DSLR to bulb mode at f16 and ISO 400. I attach my cable release and block the viewfinder to prevent light leaks. Then lock open the shutter with my cable release and start timing. 8 minutes, 32 seconds later, I have my finished photo.